start your day early, because you've slept early, automatically it becomes easy. You start your day early. How your day should look like in the morning, you start with adhkar. You start with the worship of Allah Azza wa Jal. The sole purpose of why you exist is to worship Allah. So you start with that. You do that which you need to do. Never, and look at, subhanAllah, one of the things, if a person wants barakah in this dunya, they should try their best to be consistent in two things, ikhwani. Two things. There's many, but these are the two things that the ulama, they mentioned. One of them is being and having a close relationship and having a close companion as the Qur'an. And you have a close relationship with the Qur'an. You recite it daily, frequently. Number two is birrul walidain. These two things, ikhwani, I can't stress enough to you how much they will bring about so much barakah within your time. So try your utmost best to be of these people where you have connection with the Qur'an, which is of course adhkar. You're learning about Allah Azza wa Jal, and also with your parents. With your parents. Okay? And one may say, how about if I have non-Muslim parents? وَصَاحِبُهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا, as Allah says in the Qur'an. You be good to them and lawful to them as well. That's how you're going to bring about the benefits that will come in your worldly life. So going back to this point, ikhwani, that you've had your day, you've woken up with adhkar. Once you've woken up with adhkar, reading Qur'an, doing worship, make sure your utmost best. If you cannot, if you're far away from the masjid, then that's an excuse. But if you can get to the masjid and pray in jama'ah, that's even better. If you can't, at the very least, you pray on time. So your 5 daily prayers, it doesn't matter what you're doing, that you're always praying on time. This will help you with regards to your time. Fit your time all the time around salawat. 5 salawat in the day, all the time. Once you've done that, ikhwani, then try your utmost best, whatever it may be. If it's education, the likes of the brothers that are at uni. If it's making a business or coming up with business ideas. If it's working and finishing off tasks at work, whatever it may be in your worldly life, start it there and then. After you've done the wajib, you've done that which is wajib upon you, which is worshipping Allah, remembering Allah Azza wa Jal, start it off early. And then compare your time when you start off your day late compared to when you start your day off early. There's a big difference. So once you've done that, ikhwani, then within the day, you need to do what you need to do in the day. Everyone has different things that they're doing within their day-to-day life. Make sure within the day, ikhwani, at the very least, even if it's just 10 times, you say Astaghfirullah 10 times. That in itself, the Prophet ﷺ was known within one majlis. Some of the riwayat mentioned 70 times, some of them 100 times. Him saying Astaghfirullah. That brings about so much khair and barakah in your time. Why? Because you're remembering Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? And that, you know from the hadith, whoever remembers Allah Azza wa Jal, then Allah Azza wa Jal preserves him and puts barakah in their time. So therefore you're doing that. Another thing as well that a person should do is try the utmost best with regards to their religion within the portion of their day that they're seeking knowledge. And I can't say it's 1 hour a day or only 2 hours, because everyone is different. Everyone has different responsibilities. But within the time that you're free and you have time, and there's a saying that says that a person, if they love something so much, okay, and it's important to them, they will make time. They won't find time. Because finding time means not as important. Like the likes of making a business. If you're finding time to seek knowledge, you're finding time to do whatever it may be, do a business, it means it's not important to you. But whatever is important to you, make time for it because it's important to you. Okay? So that's something that I advise you to do with regards to the Qur'an, especially now. This is the last topic. I'll end it with this specific topic. Is Ramadan. Ramadan coming in, we spoke about how important time is. Ramadan coming in is a time of redemption, to rejuvenate. It's a time for barakat. That's when time should be maximized the most, is the time of Ramadan. Why? Because within it, we know إِذَا جَاءَ أَوَّلْ لَيْلٍ, the first night of Ramadan, فُتِحَتْ أَبْوَابُ الْجَنَّةِ, all the gates of Jannah opened up. وَلَمْ يُغْلَقْ مِنْهَا بَابٍ, there's not a single door or gate of Jannah that's going to be closed. So time of Ramadan is about to approach, ikhwani. We've missed the opportunity. Afallahu amma salaf, but the salaf would make dua and the companions 6 months before it even enters. That time is gone now. We're now a couple of days into Ramadan. So therefore, utilize the time you have now, the last couple of days. What you're doing in that time, you are trying your utmost best to get closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. Because you know that when the first night hits in, Allah Azza wa Jal opens the gates of Jannah. They opened up. And not a single gate is going to be closed in this specific month. Okay? وَغُلِّقَتْ أَبْوَابُ النَّارِ, and all of the gates of hellfire, they're closed. وَلَمْ يُفْتَحْ مِنْهَا بَابٍ, وَلَمْ تُفْتَحْ أَبَدًا, no single gate is going to be open in a specific moment when the first night comes in. Okay? And then the hadith carries on to mention, وَيُنَادِي مُنَادٍ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ, and an angel calls out from the heavens, Ya baghi al-khair aqbil. Look at this. Once again, for those that want, those that know about time, those that know that this is the opportunity for them to get close to Allah Azza wa Jal. Put your hand up here if you know where you're headed in the Day of Judgment. Put your hands up here if you know where you're heading in the Day of Judgment. Yeah. You know where you're heading? Allahumma barak. I asked the same question. In Ireland, subhanAllah, to the brothers that was sitting down. I wanted to put their hand up and I said, please let me know. Because I'm pretty sure you're heading somewhere khair. I want to get there as well. When I say where you're heading, yani meaning Jannah or Jahannam, where you're heading in the Day of Judgment. We hope, but I'm saying, do you know where you're going? No one's guaranteed. No one knows. So therefore, this is the moment for you to utilize your time. The most is the time of Ramadan. 30 days, 29 days, 29 days. You don't know what's going to happen in terms of the Day of Judgment. So therefore, your time that you have is now. There's no other excuse. How many people were with us for last Ramadan or the Ramadans that have went by, and therein that they are not with us today? And they wish they could be here for another Ramadan. Allah has once again selected and chosen you to still be here. You're still alive, which means you still have another opportunity. How many Ramadans did the Prophet ﷺ fast? Khidr. 9 Ramadans, ikhwani. So you have an opportunity. How many Ramadans have you done? Ask yourself, and don't tell everyone, but how many Ramadans have you fasted? Now, how many of those Ramadans have you fasted that you actually utilized every single moment, every single lahda, the way you should have? So therefore, you know what you need to be working with now. Remember, we mentioned already how much Qur'an do you know, how much Arabic do you know, how much understanding of the deen you know. All of that you already know. How much you have of deficiency. وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. Allah has created us weak. How many times did Imam Shafi'i memorize the Qur'an or read the Qur'an in the month of Ramadan? Abdul Mu'izz. Look at that. Don't ask how, because it's possible. He's a human being. It's about time management. It's about making dua, being sincere, prioritizing that which is important. And then also, it was known as well with the athar of Uthman ibn Affan that is mentioned that what? One khatma in one rak'ah. Complete the Qur'an once in one rak'ah. So all of these things that we hear, from the means of what? Giving us encouragement and motivating us. If they managed to do that which they did, it means that it's possible, ikhwani. All about time management. So Ramadan is about to enter. وَيُنَادِي مُنَادٍ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ يَا بَاغِيَ الْخَيْرِ أَقْبِلْ. For those that want good, come forth. The opportunity is there. Allah Azza wa Jalla has given you the opportunity. Ramadan's for everyone, for you to put forth all of these good deeds. It could just be ibtisam. And one of the Salaf mentions Ramadan is a month of qira'atul Qur'an wa it'amut ta'am. It's a month of reciting the book of Allah Azza wa Jalla and feeding the needy. Time for sadaqah. A time for doing good deeds. Ibtisam ala wajhi akhik. Just smiling at your brother gets you sadaqah. Helping your brother gets you sadaqah. Even just calling someone. Being an ear for someone. It could be someone's going through something difficult. You just listen to them, you get rewarded for it. It's multiplied. Ad'af. And of course we know that every single action you do gets rewarded. Except for what? Illa as-sawm. فَإِنَّهُ لِي وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ. As Allah mentions, as this hadith mentions. That Allah mentions that with regards to what? Fasting, Allah is the one that knows the reward. He's the one that rewards it. Okay, so Ramadan is coming in. And in the end of the hadith it mentions وَلِلَّهِ عُتَقَاءُ مِنَ النَّارِ. Allah Azza wa Jal has servants that He frees from the hellfire every single night in the month of Ramadan. Now ask yourself, do you know where you are? I ask you again, Ilyas, where are you headed? Day of Judgment, which one? No one knows. I don't know as well. No one's guaranteed. Which means in the month of Ramadan, we should utilize our time wisely to make sure you're doing istighfar, saying Astaghfirullah, tasbih, tahleel, all of these good actions that you can do. It's countless. There's not a single one that you should do, except you should do all of them. Reading the Qur'an more often. Try and complete the Qur'an. Try and read the Qur'an. Tafsir, all of that which you could do. Do put forth good deeds, because this may be your last Ramadan, ikhwani. This could be your last Ramadan. Especially with regards to the Qur'an, try your utmost best to read the Qur'an as much as you can. And one of the beautiful timetables Shaykh Muhammad al-Tahiri mentions in this beautiful book, and I advise you all to, inshallah, hopefully I'll share it if he doesn't have it, and then you can share it on the groups if you guys are in the group of Medina College. It's a timetable that he made with regards to the jadwal of Ramadan. One of the best jadawal I've seen, one of the best timetables I've seen with regards to Ramadan. Some of it is difficult, but there's levels. So there's the mujtahidun, which I ask Allah to make us all from them, and then there's mutawassitun, the middle ones, and then there's they're the ones that are beginners, and then there's the du'afa, the likes of myself. With regards to Ramadan, the timetable he put is amazing in terms of completing the Qur'an and how many times a person could complete it, and the timing that a person should allocate in completing the Qur'an. And that jadwal is amazing, it's beautiful. But with regards to the Qur'an, ikhwani, when it comes to memorizing the Qur'an, try your utmost best to make sure that you have a teacher, you're sincere, and you have partners in the Qur'an. Because you need an actual partner with regards to the Qur'an to help you, that you read them before you read to your shaykh. Okay? And the ilm and the knowledge of with regards to the Qur'an and memorizing the Qur'an is something bit talaqi. You can't memorize the Qur'an by yourself. You have to read it to someone else, even if you're an Arab, because you can make mistake, makharij, tajweed, and so on and so forth. You have to have someone else you're reading it to. So utilize the time wisely in the month of Ramadan to learn the Qur'an, to read the Qur'an, to be independent in reading the Qur'an. If you don't know how to, then try and strive to do that, because it's not impossible. It's not impossible. And to give you guys more of a motivation as well, if you look at the likes of Imam Bukhari, was he an Arab? And the list goes on. But I just mentioned his name only because Asah Kitab Ba'd al-Quran, the most authentic book after the Quran, is Imam Bukhari's book, As-Sahih, Jami' al-Sahih. Okay, so that in itself is a means of motivation that it's not impossible for you to do that which you want to do. But it's all about time management and how you manage your time. So we mentioned the things again, we'll repeat them again. Being sincere, making dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. When you're sincere, you've made dua, you've got the raghbah, you've got the will, then you do the means. The rest of it is self-explanatory. Consistency, writing things down, having good companions around you, especially when it comes to you doing certain things that are important to you, make that circle small and less. So therefore you're able to achieve more. When the circle is big, you get distracted more. Same advice that we were given with regards to the jama'ah and studying. When it comes to you studying in that type of environment where everyone is studying and so on and so forth, when the circle is less, the benefit is more because you get less distracted. When you have a huge number around you, then of course you're going to end up, let's say me and Khidr have things together. We share the same jokes. And he's like, we're always around each other. That's a fitna. Me and him are always going to be talking about stuff that's not beneficial. Me and Fahad together, we know each other. So therefore, when you're around those that have high aspiration, and you should always have high aspirations as Muslims, when you're around those kind of people, it helps you also be upon the same wavelength. So time is key, ikhwan. You can't bring it back and you can't take it back. You can't have it back. لعلي أعمل صالحا. They want to go back. People of Day of Judgment, they want to go back. But then it's too late because the opportunity was now. That's why time is so key and is so important, ikhwani.